Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another anime review. Huzzah! Finally! I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Alchemist, is taking you forever to get through this, but finally, I have been able to watch Season 5 of Hetalia, The Beautiful World, and I hope they don't stop it there because this by far was my favorite of the entire series because we get to see some new countries, and I would love to see the Netherlands depicted because I had a friend from there and I haven't heard from him in years, but people from the Netherlands are so nice. I mean, they're very polite and they're probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. Well, Belgians are too, but I've met a lot of people and all the people I've met have been really sweet. So I've only seen the good side of Europe rather than what my C.O. Giovanni would call ugly Americans. Well, he actually dealt with ugly Germans, so it's kind of funny because, you know, I picture him like like Italy. My uncle is an amazing person, and I'm very lucky to have him in my life. Anyway, being a history buff, I absolutely adore this show, and I adore the Scandinavians, and still my favorite character is France because I cosplay as France, a female version of France, and they did have a episode where they had gender bent characters, and I was so happy. And Estonia didn't know what to do. Estonia was completely gobsmacked and flabbergasted and thinking, what kind of god would let me go, can't even talk, what kind of god would present a dream like this to me? This is not what I asked for. And he's just completely overwhelmed and overwhelmed, and it's just hilarious. I don't know, I have a lot of favorite episodes in this particular volume. Of course, I also cosplay Greece, so I'm very, very biased about Greece because I think in one of my past lives, I don't know if I've told you this, in one of my past lives I was a philosopher, and I also taught, so I was probably peripatetic, but I'm not sure how long that particular life lasted, but it was really quite magnificent. That's why I feel like I have such a connection with Greece, but I don't know. I just focus on the here and now, and I'm sorry I keep on going on tangents here, but I absolutely adored this particular season, and the animation in this was really beautiful, and of course, being a cosplayer of France, I can relate. And in this particular volume, he's actually more of a tragic character, and he's so alone. And you see a lot of that history presented, and the extras, I forget, it was just I forget what it was, but I forget the whole phrase. I know what the phrase is, but it's something that Louis the Sun King said right before he died. I think it was, I regret that I have to depart so soon. Je regrette de partir, something like, I forget what it is, but exactly in the French, but it was, I regret that I must depart and leave you so soon, or something. I can't recall, but it was just absolutely heartbreaking. And Louis the Sun King is actually one of my favorite characters in history, and he was interesting. I don't remember if they called him, did they call him the porcupine? Because I can't remember if they called him the porcupine or the hedgehog or something. I know he had a nickname. Please help me, history buffs out there. I know this, but it's been so long since I've taken my French culture conversation. I don't know. I don't remember if he was called the hedgehog or the porcupine. I'm thinking it's the hedgehog, but I'm probably incorrect. I can't remember why he was called that either. There was a reason why Louis the 15th was called that, but anywho. Let's see. I enjoyed everything about this. I love Germany's awkward confession to Italy. Because Italy, on San Valentino, which is actually coming up this weekend, he gives him roses, and Germany freaks the heck out because, well, over here it's the same thing. If you give somebody red roses, it's red is passion, red means love, red is romance. It equals that over here. And of course, notably so, Germany would start just completely going berserk. And so Belgium is talking to Austria, and she says he picked up this book called a relationship guide for the hard-hearted German. And being mostly German myself, I had to find this very hilarious. So I'm laughing at this the whole time because most of my background is depicted in in this anime. I'm mostly German. I have some blue blood, but not quite blue blood. I have distant relations with William the Conqueror on my mother's side. I have Scottish blood, Irish blood, smidge of Polish, and quite possibly Jewish background, because my surname is Jewish, but it's probably far back, and my dad doesn't really lay claim to that because he says our side of the family was evangelistic, so I don't know. I'm not for sure, and no one really is aware of that particular part of our history, and I thought, come on, we have to have some Jewish background. There's got to be a reason why I relate so much to this group of people. And then, I do believe I have some French in my background as well, which would explain a lot of my lovey-dovey side. And I also think at some point in time I was probably Italian in a past life, which, you know, explains a lot. But it's really quite the fun anime, and there's a lot of it that's kind of controversial, and it'll, if you're easily offended, don't watch it. But if you're like me and you're a history buff and you want to learn, then definitely do, because I learned about another micronation called Y. It's in Australia. And then there's another one that Italy owns. I forget what that one was. Well, I know there's Seychelles, which belongs to France, and there's Crete. I know where Crete is. I'd love to see a depiction of Sicily. I've done Sicily. I've done drawings of Sicily, and I want to do the Netherlands, so I'm gonna draw the Netherlands, because I don't think the Netherlands is officially evolved in the manga or the anime. If he is, please show me. I want to see what the Netherlands looks like, because I love people from the Netherlands. I had one friend and I lost him. I don't know where he is. Where are you? I need to hear from you again. It's driving me crazy, but I need to go there. It's a really interesting place. Of course, there are a lot of places I want to go. That's one of them. Actually, one place I really want to go is Japan. Of course, as you well know, I am an otaku deluxe, and I would I would be like a kid in a friggin' candy store, because I just absolutely adore Japan. And there were a lot of times I was watching, and Japan would be talking, and he would be making his his greeting to Italy, and Italy couldn't stand there very long. He had to come over there and just hug the ever-loving kawaii out of Japan. And everybody was saying, "No, let the man finish." But it was so funny. No, let the man make his greeting. There's one episode with Russia. I have friends from Russia, so I have to show, if I ever if my friend Misha ever comes, I'm gonna have to show him this, because I think he'll find it very amusing that Russia is depicted in such a way that, and I know a lot of people give Russia a lot of flack. Russia is really not such a bad place. I know we're kind of frenemies with them, but I actually have a lot of I'm like my friend. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Putin. I just do. I'm just gonna say it. Don't think I'm a communist or anything. I might be slightly socialist, but I like Mr. Putin. Let me just put it that way. But after all these tangents, I must say that this is probably one of the best animes I've seen in a good long while. and the extras were really quite informative and educational, and I learned quite a bit about horror films from all over the world, like Italy and China. I love Japanese horror films. I love Japanese horror films. I absolutely adore them because they're more psychological. I do psychological horror very well, but psychological horror also makes me able not to sleep at night. When they talk about German films, I have not seen any German. I've seen a lot of foreign films in my lifetime. I have never seen a German film. Well, yeah, I have. I did see a German film. German films are very phantasmagorical and strange and just weird. The one that I saw was, I thought, what in the world is this? But I have a movie from Norway. It's called Elling. I absolutely adore it. It's one of my favorite films of all time. See it, watch it. It's probably the most well-known. Good movie. I've done a review on it. I've seen East Indian Bollywood films. I'm a big fan of Bollywood. Don't hate me. And they did a horror film from India, and it had Bollywood dancing. Are horror films from India really like that? I was wondering, because I've never seen a horror film from India. Send me one. I would love to do a review of one, just for the heck of it. See if it's really exactly like the Bollywood films, because a lot of the Bollywood films are singing and dancing, and like Rowdy Rathore and Johnny China, and the even action adventure films, like Dawn and Dawn 2. Dawn and Dawn 2 are my favorites. I have not seen Dawn 3. I was just thinking about Chinese horror. I have never seen a Chinese horror film. I have seen a Chinese film. I like Chinese films. Of course, Japanese films I've seen. Italian film. I like. I like Italian film. It was Fellini. I like Fellini. Fellini is the best. Fellini is wonderful. When he did La Dolce Vita is the most well known. That film is amazing. It's so good. Of course, I love Roberto Benigni. I've been a big fan of his. I love his movies. Of course, I've heard him eons, but nevertheless. Those are all the movies I've seen. I haven't really seen any. Oh, yeah, I have seen a Canadian film. It was a Canadian horror film. It was, they actually panned it on MST3K. It was really hilarious. I forget the name of it, but it's really funny. And see, I have had a lot of exposure to film over my lifetime, and I'd love to get my hands on some more foreign films just to review, because I want to have a kind of a movie night like they did. And I haven't seen any Russian films. Well, yeah, I did. Never mind. I take that back. I have, and yeah, like they say in the depiction, they are very much like fairy tales, but they will they will definitely give you twists and turns that you're not expecting. And you think, that's kind of unusual and that's disturbing, but. And I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth. That's the most well Spanish film. I like Del Toro. I really like what he does. I don't know what else to say other than this is well worth your time if you haven't seen it yet. If you're a fan of the series, this is probably the best of it, and I'm looking forward to more in the future. So until next time, bye.